Well, hello and welcome to the February 2026 Patreon question and answer video. I am Dan Catt, still not an AI, and this is where I answer questions that have been asked by the members over on Patreon. I'm doing it here on YouTube and on Patreon for reasons I'll explain, and I'll explain the whole Patreon thing at the end of the video. I apologize for the lighting in the studio. I'm over here because the Riso studio's through there. I'm going to do some stuff, but I'll show you all that at the end. And now, through the magic of editing, let's answer the questions. The lighting is a lot better in the studio than the other studio. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to read you these two questions. I thought I actually had an answer for this one, but I kind of don't. Okay, so David says, I'm having issues with the base plate of my plotter, the Tech 3. It seems uneven. A fixed height line appears thicker on one side of the page than the other, and technical pens are digging in. Question, is this common? And what's the best way to align the base plate on the plotter? Are there any ways to manage this? Is this common? No. I thought I was going to be able to give you a fix, but I used to have the idraw, the original idraw, and I had exactly the same problem where the base was actually slightly skew. And when I contacted them, they said that sometimes happens in delivery, where when it gets shipped over, the tension changes and there are 4 screws, one at each corner I could adjust. But when reading this and digging out my machine, I had a look and it feels like you can't do that on this. This is built like a tank. So let's talk about something ever so slightly different. In the previous video, we talked about pen plotters and the different ones, and I tend to use the axidraw and extraw, these ones. And I've never had any trouble with these. They've always come in the post and they've just worked straight away. After a time, maybe they get loose and they need tweaking, but these have always been fine. The idraws are built like a tank. The Unitech, they're really good, but I've had one where the base has been skewed, and I've known a couple of people where the machines have been dead on arrival when they've arrived, and one instance where it's been slightly skewed, like mentioned here. And I don't think it's the machines, I think it's the shipping. It's always down to the shipping. And in every single time after they've contacted, Unitech, they've been replaced. They've tried to sort the problem out and just replaced it. So everyone I know has ended up with a working one of these. So is it common? No. Do I know a couple of people that it's happened to? Yes. Has it happened to me with an older one? Yes, and I could fix that. I don't know how you would fix it on one of these, because if it's slightly twisted, I don't know. A very technical solution is because it's G-code. You could write your G-code and slightly adjust the height of the pen. That is overly complicated. So my answer to that is I'd contact support and then ask them if they can send you a new one. Sorry, that's not a better answer. Okay, let me get rid of this. We'll do answer 2. This next question comes in response to the pens and paper video that I posted the other day from Carlos, who says, I've been using brush pens with liquid watercolours and Canson or Amazon £140 paper. I find that the paper tends to warp in the middle, which makes the brushstrokes too thick in the middle, and if I raise the brush pen, then they don't reach the edge. What can I do? So this is quite a common thing with watercolour paper, and if you search YouTube for stretching watercolour paper, you'll find several answers. But what's happening is, when water gets on the paper, it's causing the cellulose in it to expand, and that's causing your warping and buckling. The correct thing to do is soak your paper so it pre-expands and then dries it. And the videos will show you a couple of different ways of doing this. One is sometimes people take the paper and put it into a tank of water to soak it, and then use a sponge to wipe off the excess. I prefer to go the other way, which I get my sponges, I soak them in water, squeeze them out, and then start soaking the paper first on one side and then the other side. It's important to do it on both sides, so both sides of the paper expand evenly. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause it all to expand. You then get some water activated tape. This isn't water activated tape. And then you tape down all 4 sides. Other people use a staple gun where they staple it to a board. And then what happens is as it dries, it kind of goes taut like a drum skin, and then you cut the paper out, or you take the tape off, and that means that your paper is already stretched, and adding any more liquid to it won't cause it to expand anymore, and that solves the buckling problem. So that answers that. So those are the 2 questions. We'll talk about Patreon in a moment. Let's go back to where I was. All right, here is the Riso studio where I've been doing some stuff, and here is the actual machine and a whole bunch of prints up on the wall. So let me put you on the tripod. So what's this all about then? This is all about keeping me sane, because as I make more Drawing Machine 101 videos and post them over on YouTube, there'll be more places where people can ask me more questions, and I'll just go insane trying to chase all of those. So instead, over on Patreon, once a month I open up a thread where people can ask me questions, and then I gather them all up and I do the answers, and you've just seen those answers here, and I imagine they'll get more and more of them by the month. So if you want to ask questions, over on Patreon is the place to do it. And part of the fun of that is each month I also send out some artwork, which this month is all about the Riso printer. So here is some footage from about 2 weeks ago. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different for the Patreon people. We have a 80s pop, 70s pop design here. Normally, this code chucks out SVG files that we send to the drawing machine. But this time it's going to send out files that we're going to send off here to the Riso printer. So this is just our normal creative coding over here. If we go over here, we've got all the usual stuff like number tiles, number lines, are we going to be curved or liney, and then sort of the palettes we're using. And this is kind of sort of representing what it might look like. So if we take one that we like this one here, it's then going to spit out two files, one for the first ink color and one for the second ink color. So how that works is over here we've got these ink drums, and I've got a couple in the machine. Press this button while I show you what goes on there. And these are the ink cartridges that actually go into this bit here. So we'll take this out and take this out. You tend not to do that because each drum is a set color. Now I've just done some previous ones. You can see the last design I did on here, this is like a screen print. So this is a screen on a screen print, but instead of being flat, it goes around this drum. The ink goes in here, and then it squeezes outwards and gets pushed through the screen here. And then as the paper goes through the machine, it goes under this drum to put the first color on, under this drum for the second color, and then out here. So I'm going to send a design onto, I think I'm going to pick different colors. I'm going to go for green and yellow. So I'm going to take that pink out, keep that yellow in. Switch that, put that in. Yeah, I'm back again. I'm doing the A5 prints that are going to go out to some people. So we got the postcards done. I didn't get a chance to do these. I've done the pink and green ones, if I show you. There's the lovely pink. Here's the lovely green. Just going to take this green out and swap it in for the red that is over there. So basically we just take the green ink out and then go drop the red drum in. And now we're all ready to go. Alrighty. We've now skipped forwards a couple of days. I've got all these printed out, and I did some larger ones here. So these pink and red ones that are kind of cool. The alignment of this one messed up, so that's not going to be sent out. And then if we make our way round, oh, this is a bit dangerous. So there we go. Like I said, I had these three designs. We got yellow and red, which is here, then yellow and green, and then yellow and pink, all along here. And then the larger ones, I've also got some printouts that I'm just going to send out as well. There we go, that's a little bit better. So I've got Kitty writing the envelopes over there. Once that's sorted, I'm going to package all these up, head to the post office, get them sent off, and then that's it for the Patreons. I just thought I'll share this. I will hand you back to me to finish off the video. So that's it. That's what happens each month. If you want to be part of that, if you want to support the videos, if you want to have monthly art in the mail, if you want to ask a question, you can just join the Patreon for a month and then drop off again. I know this seems like a big advert, but I also wanted the chance to show you what happens each month because it's kind of fun and it allows everything to keep on happening. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. We're all done. I'll catch you again in the tutorial videos and for the March Q&A. All right. Love you all. Bye.